Welcome to another Google Trends tutorial episode. I'm Daniel Weisberg, Search Advocate at Google, and I'm really happy to introduce you to the Google Trends Engineering Manager, Omri Weissman.
Hi Daniel, thanks for the opportunity. It's great to leave my desk for a moment and join you in the Google Trends tutorial series. I'm excited to share some of the ideas that we have about how to best use our product.
In this video, we'll talk about advanced features such as special characters and detailed comparison features that may help you find the exact data you're looking for.
In the previous episode, Hadass and Daniel walked you through the main features and capabilities of Google Trends. So if you missed it, you might want to check it out before you watch this video. We also learned that it's usually best to search for topics rather than terms. Topics are language agnostic and include misspellings. But if there's no topic that matches your search, you can use punctuation to find exactly what you need. This is why I'll start with punctuation. If you search for the term boat trip with no punctuation, your results will contain both words in any order. No misspellings, variations, or plural versions will be included. We can alter this in three main ways: using quotation marks, the plus operator, or the minus operator. Searching for boat trip in quotation marks shows you the data for this exact term, possibly with words before or after. If you search for boat minus trip, results will include the words boat, but exclude the word trip. If you search for boat plus trip, results can include the words boat or trip. Note that the last option will always have a higher search interest than the previous two because it is the broadest one. When it comes to languages, Hadass mentioned in the previous episode that searching for a topic will cover all languages, which can be useful to understand the bigger trend. However, if you're interested in a specific language, you might want to look only for that language. For example, if you enter the Japanese character for cat, pronounced Niko in Japanese, you might miss the overall trends, since many people in the US, for example, search for cat in English. To get the full picture, compare searches for the Japanese character for cat and English searches for cat using the plus operator.
Getting the data you need is essential, but to understand what it means, you need a comparison point. For example, is the growth localized or global? Is the growth seasonal? And if so, how does this season compare to the previous one? To create a meaningful comparison, you can use the future capability inside the search term. Let's take a look at some examples to understand it better. Let's say you own a travel agency in the UK, and you're interested in search interest for the term boat trip. How are people interested in it over time? First, enter the term in the Trends Explorer section and change the time frame to 5 years. This will create an interesting chart, showing that this term is highly seasonal. People search for boat trip significantly more in the UK summer than in the winter. To learn more about data seasonality, check the links in the description. While it is interesting to know the time of the year when the term has a higher interest, you'll need more information if you want to make decisions based on the data. You can use a special feature to analyze trends year over year. This will help you neutralize the seasonality effect, making sure you're comparing like for like. Start by changing the date to past 12 months. Add an identical term to the compare box and hover over the box. Click the three dots menu and select Change Features. Here you see two options, location and time range. Click the time range and select the custom time range to choose the previous time period. If you're looking for full years, you can use the built-in capability to choose the past 5 years. That would make your search quicker. After these steps, you'll end up with two lines in your chart. One for the past 12 months and a second for the previous 12 months. You can repeat this further up to 5 times. With this view of the data, you can see very clearly that even after you neutralize the seasonality effect, the trend is upwards. That being so, search interest has been growing year over year for both trips. Now, let's assume you're based in the United Kingdom and you're interested in expanding your business to the United States. Let's look at the past 5 years of data for both trips. Now, we add an identical search term, and instead of comparing date ranges, we compare the United States to the United Kingdom. The data shows that the search interest for both trips in the UK has been consistently higher than that of the US over the past 5 years. Maybe you change your strategy and look at other countries to expand your business. You can compare up to 5 markets in the same way.
There are a few ways for you to share, export, and monitor trends for the search terms you're interested in. And one of the cool things about sharing and exporting capabilities is that they will keep your data filters. If you're doing an advanced comparison and feel like you need help from a colleague or some specialized tool, you can export the data and continue your analysis somewhere else. The easiest way to share trends is by copying the page URL after you finish your analysis. When you add terms and customize filters, this URL updates. This means that if you create a complex comparison using any of the tips we've shared in this video, they will be reflected in the URL, so anyone you share it with will see exactly what you're seeing. Another way to share a chart is to embed it on your website. You can generate an embeddable card to add to your website from almost any card on the page. These cards will show up-to-date data and may also reproduce some in-product interactions. You can also export the data from each of the cards to a spreadsheet. Click the Export button and a CSV file will download, which you can then use to do further analysis or visualizations. Wow, I feel like taking a boat trip now. Those numbers are so convincing.
I know, Google Trends can take you places.
We hope that you learned a few tricks to make the most out of Google Trends data, and that now you understand how search interest works over time.
In the next episode, we'll talk about ways for you to check what's trending right now. Don't forget to subscribe to the Google Search Center YouTube channel to be the first to watch it.
Stay trendy!